Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome everybody to Bass 365. This is Livecast. I'm your host this week, Lurch, with Major League Fishing and a bunch of other stuff. None other better person to be joining me than the Cajun baby, Cliff Crochet. Cliff, how you been, buddy?
Oh, life is good. Life is good.
What's making it good right now?
What's making it good right now? Family time,
It is. It
relaxing.
is. What about
Uh,
Thanksgiving? What'd you do?
Thanksgiving was good. Thanksgiving was pretty basic. We just ate lunch and just kind of hung out. It's like a every day is a circus. Every hour is like a circus, except for nap time. Um, because I got a whole tribe of kids, so every day is interesting.
Yeah, was it Ben, Lee, and then the twins?
Ben, Lee, Les, and Jay.
And the twins are what, like a year and a half?
Yeah, about a year and a half. It'll be 2 in February, so yeah, like a year and a half. That counts, something like that.
All right. Well, let's talk 2021 real quick. Uh, Personally, a good year. Career wise, good year. To talk to us about your year.
So 2021 was a little bit of everything. It started off real good with a top 10,
Yeah, seventh
and
at Rayburn, correct?
seventh place at Rayburn, and that was fun to top 10 is good anytime, but just to start the year with a top 10, and then that was my first top 10 on the Bass Pro Tour format, so that was good. And got a couple other checks throughout the year, and I qualified for heavy hitters. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
But during the year, I felt like I got better. I got better at trusting myself and just kind of letting it fly. Champlain at one point I was dead last, stuck on a sandbar, and I come back the next day and missed the cut by 7 pounds, which is nothing. I came from dead last and finished 24th in that event. But last year was good. I felt like some things happened. Uh, it's fishing, man. I'm dudes we fish against a animal, so uh, you can't make no mistakes. You just got to get better. But 2021 was fun and learned a bunch, and I'm ready for 2022.
Comparing Bassmaster to Major League Fishing, how is the decision making process? Is it a completely different process, or are you up against 80 of the best in the world, and that's the real difference, or is it more mentally challenging than others?
No, it's the difference is that both of them are tough. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Uh, the deal is on a five fish format that ceiling can only go so high.
yeah,
So if like 20 pounds is a good day, you can fight and scratch and you can still uh you can fight to 20 is the highest it's going to be that day, or whatever the lake may whatever
right.
the lake may be. On this format, the ceiling is endless, and as if you jump off a 2 pounder in a five fish format, you're like, man, that's just a 2 pound. It wouldn't have helped me. Well, this one,
Right.
everyone helps and everyone hurts. So I mean, both formats are fun and exciting, but this one on this format, you can. I mean, it's almost like you feel it sway minute
Yeah,
by minute. I mean, if you go 15 minutes, the crazy thing is in this format, if you go 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes without a bite, you better be looking for something.
yeah. Or
Maybe not
watching.
drastic, but yeah, like man, this thing ebbs and flows about a minute, as opposed to a five fish format where it's daily, or you can swing that momentum throughout the day. This deal here is like it's like a fast break all
Yeah,
the time, up and down the floor.
technically this is quote unquote the off season, but it's actually when you guys do a lot of your work, getting new boats, new sponsors. What do you got in play this year?
A lot of the same, and a lot of the same, and some new stuff. The good thing about it is a lot of the same things: Blazer, Mercury, Power Pole, Rattle Trap, longtime partners there. Rattle Trap been around since 2011 with me.
Yeah,
Power Pole, Cash King, In fact, before we got on the phone, I was just looking at a new contract with Cash King, rods and reels. Got some good stuff coming there.
Good deal.
K2 coolers, a bunch of old school partners, and then we got a few new things that we're still working out, still tweaking out. Getting just right.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, I don't know if you call it off season, more of a business season.
Yeah,
In the
I
off
would
season.
say, I think that's a misconception so many people have. They're like, all these guys are done, in September, and then they just hang out and go hunting or whatever. But yeah, it's a lot different. Are you getting a new boat this year? Where's it at? I mean, is it loaded up yet, or what's the prospect on that?
I am getting a new boat this year. I'm running a Blazer 650 again. It's in the process of being built or about to be built somewhere up in there. I should have it in a few weeks. Got lucky. Shout out to Cajun Outboards, local Blazer Mercury dealer here in Addis, right outside of Baton Rouge. Some kind of way they made some stuff happen for me, and I do have a motor
awesome.
putting on it. So that's coming. Man, that's a bittersweet part of it too. People, they're like, man, you get a new boat every year. Yes, I do. Very thankful for it. But with a new boat comes the stress of rigging it and working the bugs out and learning that new bolt and
breaking it in
in,
is a process.
learning the personality of it, and it sounds like I'm complaining. I'm really not. That's just the things you got to, you go down and listen, check off. I'm glad I enjoy my job because it really is a job. But I like it, so I don't really work a whole bunch. I just living a life.
Well, a lot of people don't see the work that's put in, and that's the, leaving the family, driving, 14 hours to the next destination, having your hotel sort of set up for you, finding where you're going to stay. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people I don't think really realize.
No, there's a lot that goes on. Tell you a little bit about 2021. You asked about that, and you just talked about hotel stays. For a lot of my career, I stayed by myself. I stayed with a couple different people, or my wife Sarah traveled with me, and Ben and Lee, my two oldest boys, traveled with me. But last year I jumped in with Steven and Anthony, and that was a big help, dude. That was to be able to I guess have friends on tour with you. Good dudes.
Is it still in the
fishing and kind of joking? I got lucky on that deal. Steven books everything. They like to cook, so it's perfect for me.
Now is it hotels or are you guys getting like the Airbnb thing?
No, we do houses. Yeah. Houses are so much easier.
Oh, absolutely.
Good parking. You can spread it out. You get everybody gets a room. It's that was a big part of 2021, man. You get homesick. I don't know if other dudes do. I get homesick, and you get to hang out with normal people. That helps a whole bunch.
Absolutely, it does. Speaking of the off season, I'm sure people see you at tackle stores and say, "Hey, what should I be throwing around you, Louisiana? What is the hot setup for this time of year? What is it ranging from 50 to 70 some degrees there weather-wise?"
Yeah, it's we in a I saw on the news say near record high. It'd be like 80 degrees tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, anything's on the table right now. Anything from flipping the top water. But right now, I'd have to say a jig, probably like a half-ounce jig, flipping it, swimming it, cypress trees, just anything goes. Water temp's probably 60 degrees right now. And we in December, we probably got some pre-spawn going on already.
Really?
So I hadn't been on the water a whole bunch, but I've been on the water once or twice here lately, and it's things are kind of happening a little bit. This is probably my favorite time of the year to fish. Well, I know springtime is, but I like fishing this time of year because man, the fronts roll through, and you get that pressure. And you get the pressure, the high pressure, and a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain, but leading up to a front, and you can smash them fish before that. And then you take a couple of days off after the front, and you wait for the next one to come through.
Right.
That is probably Man, I love fishing in pre-fronts. You get caught in that bad weather sometimes, but them fish go to biting.
Now, what's your home lake? Is that a Chevrolet River Basin?
Chaffly Basin out
Yeah.
of Bell River is my home water, Lake Verret. Uh, I guess the closest thing is probably Morgan City. Um, that's my home water. It's a little bit different from everywhere else in the
Yeah.
country that we go to, but it's home. I love it, and there's probably some cons to learning how to fish here and fishing here a whole bunch because it's generally dirty and shallow. But there's a lot of pros to having a power fish all the time.
Yeah. Did it hurt you when we went to some of the, say, northern or western lakes? Did it sort of hurt you, or were you very good at adapting to those situations?
No, I don't think it hurt me because in fishing we know if you just do what you're doing, you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes what hurts me is trying to do too much and not doing what I do. If you take a spinnerbait, a punching rod, a flipping rod, and a frog, you can catch them. You can catch them anywhere. But when you try to do too much, that's what kind of kills you. So,
Yeah.
um, I think being able to spend a lot of time doing several techniques all the time uh, can pay off for you. Jason Christie is one that Jason Christie, Greg Hackney, Tommy Biffle.
Yep.
Those dudes have Denny did it forever. Uh, I mean, you just do what you do and things will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. You excited about the first stop on the Bass Pro Tour? Was it West Monroe?
I am, I am, I am, but I'm not. any
You're
anytime
gonna
we,
have to explain that to me. Like, why
yeah,
wouldn't he be excited?
man. Anytime we come to the boot, anytime we come to Louisiana, I love it. Born and raised in Louisiana, dude. I love Louisiana. I don't know where you at.
Uh,
What
I'm west of Chicago, and it was 9 degrees when I woke up this morning.
perfect,
So you're
great.
saying record highs? I'm like, it was 9.
But man, like anytime we come to Louisiana, dude, I love Louisiana. I would fight for Louisiana. I'm very proud to be from Louisiana. So anytime we can step in Louisiana, I get excited. I feel pressure. I want to perform. So that's the good thing about it.
You want to represent?
I want to represent. I love the boot, bro. I love it. Like people tell you, I love where I'm from. No, I'm hardcore about it. I will fight for this state. I have fought for the state before. Uh, but so yeah, definitely pumped about being in Louisiana. I feel that pressure. But we're going to Lake D'Arbonne, Caney Lake, and Bussy Break. So
Yeah, it's a three banger.
yeah, which give credit to Michael Malone or whoever made it happen at Major League Fishing. The format we fish is different. So now we can do things like going to 3 different lakes and fish. Raleigh, North Carolina was another one.
Yep.
So
Yep.
hats off to them dudes for making that happen. Well, we can fish non-traditional waters in this circuit. But Lake D'Arbonne, 2000. I'm gonna go back in time a little bit. 2004 spring. Spring of 2005.
All right.
Louisiana Federation. I had never been in Lake D'Arbonne in my life. Fished a Federation tournament and finished third. And went back a few weeks later, fished the BFL, finished like second to last. But the
That
Federation
I
tournament's
got a
cool.
third.
uh, so yeah, maybe high, low, high. I've not. So that's the only time I've been there. But historically, you hear about D'Arbonne and how good it can be. You also hear about
Oh, you locked up on me, I think.
you got me.
Yeah, I got you, bud. So you said you've been there once. That's the last I caught. Well, I think, did we lose him? You back?
Back at it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy. I got you. You there? Well, folks, we're dealing with a little technical difficulty on Bass 365 live cast. We're going to get that going as soon as possible. There you go. I see you. You hear me? You got me, bud? You got me?
Lurch, you got me?
I got you, buddy. Had you. Lost him. Make sure you guys check out the Facebook page at Bass 365. I'm Lurch. I've done a couple for these for Ricky. Enjoy it. Jacob Wheeler was one of mine, and also one of the gentlemen that won. The gentleman that won Lake Eufaula. You there? I think I got you. You got me? You hear me? You got me, Cliff?
Lurch, can you hear me? You got me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy. You there? You there, buddy?
The sound was messed up.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I can hear you. You got me?
You got me? Yes. Yes, I do.
You sound like you're in slow motion.
Well, I talk slow.
I don't know what that means. You sound like you're in slow motion. Hey, Cliff.
What if I talk really fast? Does that help? So you were saying just waiting for him to join us. You want to find out where Cliff is going to be fishing, make sure you check out majorleaguefishing.com. You can get a whole lot of information, including schedules, standings, and a whole lot more. You hear me, buddy?
I can hear you.
I can hear you too, bud. You cannot?
I can hear you, but it sounds slow motion. Slow motion. I don't know. So let me just continue my story, and we'll go from there. Lake D'Arbonne, I fished a Federation tournament, DFL there in 05. Hadn't been there since. I lied. I went scout the other day. But D'Arbonne can be really good, really bad, depending on the weather. And then that could be a tough one. Could be a good one. If we get the Caney, whoever gets the Caney will be a good tournament. A lot of fish at Caney, a lot of grass, it's kind of a small lake, but they got a lot of hydrilla, a lot of good fish, and Caney should be a good one. And then on to Bussy Break. Don't really know a lot about it. The only thing I know is they got some big ones there. Tyler Stewart caught like a 12-pounder there last year, and it should be some big ones caught there. So, yeah, the first stop, stage 1 in Louisiana. I wish it was south of I-10, but I-20 is in Louisiana, and it's in the boot. So I'm gonna do my best to get up there, have some fun, and get in the game, put on a good tournament, have a good show for our fans, and have some fun. Try to get some points and get the season started, head in the right direction.
Any events that you're nervous about?
Yeah, I can't. So the sound is kind of messed up. I can't hear you. So I guess I'll just keep telling stories, huh? Maybe we just use sign language or something.
Yes. Keep talking.
Look at that. Hey, so let me tell you a story. One time, back before my fishing days, I was in law enforcement. True story alert. You hear this?
Yes.
So, true story. I was in law enforcement for like 11 years, Assumption Parish Sheriff's Office. I got called to a fight one day, and who?
Any events you're nervous about?
So anyway, let me tell you a story. You writing? Working for the sheriff. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I get called to a house, and they're fighting. A bunch of dudes are fighting. One of the dudes fighting is deaf. Thank God I realized he was deaf, and that's how I talked the dude down with a paper and pen. And by the time it was over, the guy had to get arrested. He was all good. He walked to the car, no problem. So I have communicated like this before. Which ones I'm nervous about? What events I'm nervous about? So I got a question right here about underspins in Louisiana. How do you fish them? Do we fish them in Louisiana? I know some cats do on some of the oxbow lakes. I really don't throw them a whole bunch because I'm always kicking up mud. But it's probably something I should throw, and probably put a few fish in the boat if I throw them. But I do know some dudes that throw them, but it's more in the oxbow lakes, Toledo Bend, that type of stuff. The event that I'm most nervous about next year, or ones that worry me, is anything north of I-20. But I think we're going to Mille Lacs. Kind of scares me because that's a super fishery, and them dudes are gonna catch them nonstop. So I prefer the tournaments that you kind of grind a little bit. I guess I'll make do. You know, I'll research and try to use common sense. But them smallmouth tournaments where they really bite kind of scare me. What technique do I wish I could master? Well, I'd really like to not master any of them. If I could just kind of touch on all of them, might be a little bit better. But I mean, if I could master one, I don't know. I think, man, if I had to choose one, I'd probably say a jig, because you could do so much with it. You could flip it, you could swim it, you could punch it, you could fish it shallow, you could fish it deep. That jig probably gives you the best thing from a jig probably gives you the best chance to do everything, no matter what.
Do you have a
So how about
favorite?
look at you see this dude Devin Richard? Interesting fact: his papa Don Rich, Louisiana Music Hall of Fame. How about that? Google him. Good stuff. Who influenced me to start fishing? So I guess the real story is probably my old man and my brother, kind of like as far as for fishing. But the dude that taught me how to fish was Winston Michel. But fishing was kind of grew up fishing. Just kind of, like I guess your dad is supposed to take you fishing. Mine did. But yeah, Winston Michel was the dude that kind of sped it up a little bit and gave me like a crash course. Live school. Thoughts on live school. Active target. Lawrence. No, man. I think you gotta learn to love it, no matter what. Whether you like it or don't, you gotta learn to deal with it, and it's a tool that you need to learn to use. And for me, it's not so much about like getting out and scanning and looking for fish and that type of stuff. Maybe I need to do some of that. But even being up shallow, what I've learned is you can, it's shooting forward, so you can see where that little point runs out or where that grass line is. And it's not so much about, for me, it's not so much about fish, but more seeing the cover in front of me. But I do plan on spending some more time with it and using it and learning it, because it is a tool that's useful and it's not going away. So Whether you like it or not, it's here to stay. You got to learn to use it.
Absolutely. Can
Clint
you hear me now or
Johnson,
no? Can you hear me
what
now? Or is it
step
still?
do you think you have the best shot at winning? What stop do I think I have the best stop at winning? Oh, all of them, I hope. I think realistically, uh, I like the stage one at West Monroe. Um, and to tell you, I knew all the stops right now. I really don't. So I'm gonna say West Monroe is probably my favorite. How about now, Lurch? Go with it. That
Can you
sounded
hear me
good.
now? Anything better?
We'll keep. We'll stay on the paper and pen. I would tell you this about next year. I am looking forward to Lake of the Ozarks. I've never been there. And, I guess there's a lot of docks and bluff walls and whatnot. I'm not real sure, but uh, I'm looking forward to that one just because I've never been there before. I ain't been around forever, but I've been around for a little while, and we go, we've been the same places time and time again. So seeing a fresh place is, I'm looking forward to that. So how do you prepare for the Ozark Lakes, like Table Rock or Grand? Early.
I'm not sure if he's the only one that cannot hear me or not. So if you are tuning in, appreciate it. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Make sure if you are watching right now, you do like Lightline Fishing, pose those questions on Facebook or however you're watching us. And as soon as we reconnect, we'll get those questions. Hopefully, Cliff will be able to answer those. Some great questions so far. Yeah, just reach out to us and we're going to handle.
All right, here we go. You ready, Lurch?
Yeah, buddy. Can you hear me?
You ready? Here we go. So Ozarks, Ozark Lakes, Bull Shoals, Norfolk, Grand. Two things I know. One is crawfish colored uh, crankbait, square bill. You gotta have that. And Randall Tharp. Here we go, Randall Tharp throwing a jig on 45-degree banks. That's a big deal. And that was Skeet and Chris catching them on swim baits last time.
Well, I think everybody's seeing him locked up. Some great questions thus far. Even if he is locked up, send those questions in. And even if it's to me, something you want me to ask him rather, and we'll get those questions posed up for you. Make sure you do check out the schedules. And I know Cliff Crochet's got a Facebook page, so make sure you check out that. I think the next one I'm going to ask him if water clarity, temperature, or current.
Back at it, Lurch.
Yes, sir.
Not sure what's going on. Hey, we talk about fishing a whole bunch now. Here's what we know about fishing. You're dealing with nature. You're dealing with things you can't control. You learn to roll the punches. Kind of like when you're trying to do a live and things keep messing up. You just keep rolling, Lurch. Sign language. Whoa. I can't read that one. Whoa, back up a little bit. What's like my go-to bait, you asking? This could be a game show.
Yes.
What's my favorite?
To look for.
What's my favorite? Well, I don't really know what you're talking about, but I'd take my favorite bait of all, my favorite everything. Let me tell you this. One bait. You got 1 hour to catch a fish before you kill me. I want 72-degree water temperature. I want 8 inches visibility. I want isolated reed clumps. And I'm going with a black frog. Black frog. Or give me summertime, 80-degree water, 6 inches visibility, same situation. I love it. Frog and isolated cover, that's my favorite. If I can't frog isolated cover, I want to be punching grass. 1.5 ounce weight, 8-foot rod, getting after it. Oh, nailed it. There you go. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that's my favorite. We was talking earlier about like 2021 and positives and negatives, what you take from it. The positive thing that I've learned is to roll the punches. You know what I'm saying? Like just fish what's in front of you. The downside to that, like on my side, I always want to frog. I want to frog. I want to frog. I want to skip. I want to hit heavy cover, and that's a great way to catch fish. Great way to catch big ones, but I need to back off a little bit sometimes and take what's given to me, what's in front of me, you know. Yeah, I'm like it's right here.
Can you hear me now?
It's like right here.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Anything?
If I move any closer, I'm gonna wake up the twins.
Don't do that.
And then Sarah's gonna come beat you up.
No. No.
Yes.
Walk away. Walk away.
Yes. Christmas plans. Yeah, well, we went today. Let me tell you, Christmas plans. We went today to talk to Christmas, and we went to Cabela's. Talk to Christmas. Talk to Santa Claus. And the great thing about Santa Claus is if you do it right, you can. Santa Claus takes payment of Cabela's club points. So, you know, when you travel all around the year, travel all around the country, you know, you travel a whole bunch, you earn some of them points. And sometimes Santa takes that as payments. But, dude, Christmas is going to be awesome. Christmas is awesome. Like right now, we got Chippy the Elf. I don't know if you do Elf on the Shelf at your house. But Elf on the Shelf, dude, let me tell you about Chippy. Chippy runs my house, dude. Lee gets up about Lee tries to stay up to about 11 o'clock, and he runs back and forth looking for Chippy to see if he moves. And he tells Sarah, he's like, I gotta go see something. I gotta go see something. So Chippy is the elf on the shelf, and he's the star of the show. But I'm really looking forward. I love Christmas. Like you see the innocence. You see like everything is a big deal. But word is Santa Claus is bringing a couple dirt bikes here, a couple of small dirt bikes. And the cool thing that makes Christmas even better is we have more kids. So Santa Claus has to work harder to bring more toys. But it's like to see the dudes play together and get excited, play with their toys and stuff. It's cool. We'll just be hanging around the house and hanging out, and we'll take it from there. Routine Christmas. First tournament and first sponsor. First tournament ever?
Yes.
First tournament ever.
Do you remember it?
Friday afternoon tournament. I was like 12 or 13 years old. I was somewhere between 6th and 7th grade. And Friday afternoon tournament, me and my buddy Chad Boudreaux, $25 a boat. We fished out of he had like a 17-foot wooden skiff with an 8 horsepower on it. And you notice everything has a story with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
So
do.
we fishing, and me and Chad, and we fishing in Lake Verret, and like 30 minutes into it, Chad catches like a 4-pounder on a Johnny Rattler. Well, we were young and stupid, and all we had was an ice chest. So we put the fish in the ice chest, like 5:30 in the afternoon, 9,000 degrees, Louisiana summer, and there was a dude on the side of us, and he's in a tournament. He's like, hey, bro, I'll put y'all fish in my boat, and we can keep it. That way we can keep it alive, you know. Nice fella, older fella, nice boat. And here we are, 13, 14 years old. And we're like, stupid, we ain't giving you our fish. You crazy. So come to find out the fish died. We couldn't weigh him in. And we would have won a tournament. And we couldn't weigh him in because the fish was dead. We would have won a tournament. We didn't win a tournament. But the dude in the boat next to us was a dude named Kevin Medine, who I didn't know at the time, who later bought the bait shop where I used to hang out at the tackle store. And me and him became really good friends, still friends to this day. And it's just a cool story. I see my partner Buddy Road on there. Rusty wants to know what was my first boat. My first boat was an aluminum skiff that we bought from Rusty's daddy. My old man took a sheet of 3/4-inch plywood, shimmed it down, made me a front deck. That was my first one. The second one I had was the Mosquito, which was like a 15 to 16 foot riveted aluminum boat. And that was my 2 small boats while I was in high school. And then I bought me a bass boat when I got out. First sponsor was American Telephone Company, American Telephone Service. Local business here, local in Pierreport. Earl Landry. Earl Landry paid for me and his son Andre. Wasn't really my sponsorship. I was fishing with his son. I fished with Andre in a local team circuit. He was the first dude to ever pay me to go fishing, except for my mom and my daddy. He was the first person to let me go fishing and not have to pay him back. That was good stuff. How did you change careers, police to bass angler? So, good question. How do you go from law enforcement to fishing full time?
That's what I'm thinking.
And the story goes, so the real story goes, originally I was supposed to go to the NFL, but I wasn't big enough or strong enough or fast enough or have good enough grades to get into college. So I was supposed to be a football coach. It was the first plan. Coming out of high school, but I knew if I was a football coach, I couldn't fish. So, but I really wanted to fish. So like fishing was the first one. So, anyway, when I got out of high school, I needed a job, and I liked law enforcement. I thought about going to the military, but that didn't work because I knew if I went to the military, I surely wasn't fishing. And so I was into the public service thing. I think it's a good thing to help people.
Absolutely, it is.
Arrest bad people. So I went to work for the sheriff, but kept fishing. And then the plan was to work. The plan was to fish, was to try to make it in fishing until I was 30 years old. And if at 30 years old I hadn't qualified to do what I needed to do, the plan was to go to work for Louisiana State Police. I apply to go to work for Louisiana State Police and be a state trooper. In 2009, I had a good year in the opens. I qualified, and luckily I was working for Sheriff Mike Wagerspack, who's a businessman, I guess CPA businessman by trade before he was a sheriff. And he let me quit and come back to work. So he let me. First year I had enough vacation time to fish full time. Next year, 2011, when it was time for me to go fishing, he let me quit and then hired me back. And that happened for 2 or 3 years, where the sheriff hired me and let me go back, or let me come back part time as I fished. And that was kind of like a crutch or a soft spot to go back to him. So that's how I did it with Mike Wagerspack, sheriff at the time, had a lot to do with me, with me being able to do that. That was it was an interesting transition, but it worked some kind of way. Barry says that he's been told as a novice bass fisherman, you should focus on developing skills, master a couple of techniques first, and then work on other techniques. My thoughts. So I think that's true. I think you should, in my opinion, I think if you could be good at 2 or 3 things, I'm a shallow water dude. So if like frogging, flipping, chatterbaiting slash spinnerbaiting. So if you can do those 3 or 4 things that all kind of complement each other, you'll have a good shallow water game. And then from there you can uh you can take it from there and expand to deep water fishing or finesse fishing or whatever it may be. But I think if you have a like a core base of things that you can do, it it'll help you keep your eyes open. Oh, how about now? You got me? Lurch, you got me? You got me? I can't hear you, but I'm gonna keep talking. How about that? Uh
There you go. How about that? Can you hear me now? Same thing.
I think if you stay within a certain category or a few certain things, you can
Yep.
keep
Okay.
you'll be all right. I think if you go from deep cranking to shallow flipping, if you get too scattered, you won't work on that one category of things that'll help you get better. Best Christmas gifts. All right. So I can tell you the rods and the reels for sure. You ready for this?
Yes.
Rod and reels, no doubt. Cash King Spirale rods, designed by me. How about that?
I like it.
Spiral wrap. It's a group of spiral wrap rods that they let me build that are it's just what I want. Shallow water power fishing rods. Uh, reels. I'm gonna stick with Cash King. Bassinator Elite is what I throw, the 8 1-to-1 reel. Really good reel. But keep your eyes open. We got some different stuff coming. We got some new reels coming out of pretty sweet. For baits, Lurch, you ain't gonna believe this.
What?
How about a Cliff Crochet spinnerbait? Crusher lures. I would go that. I would go crusher lures or rattle traps. Can't go wrong with rattle traps. They catch everything under the sun. Um, that's what I would go with for sure. Size and color. So my favorite spinnerbait is it's called a Cliff Crochet Petite spinnerbait. It's a Indiana, Colorado blade, and it's a white and short. It's called Pawpaw's White and Short Truce, and what that is, it's old school rubber skirts. That's my favorite. 3/8 ounce. That dude catch them all over. Dustin Lindsay, what advice would you give young anglers wanting to try and make it somewhere in the fishing world? That's like a top. That's not a question. That's like a 4-hour conversation. But I'll keep it nice and short. For people if I had to give advice to young people wanting to make it, there's 2 things I would do. One is I would fish as much as you can. But the first thing I would do is be quiet. Just, just like close your mouth and listen, which is something that I'm not very good at. But the reason why you stop talking and listen is because fishermen love to talk. In general, I think fishermen love to teach. That's just part of being outdoors, hunting and fishing. People wanna tell you, they want to pass things on to you. So if you just listen and ask a few questions, good fishermen want to pass on information to other fishermen to see them succeed. So, one, listen, ask a lot of questions. Two, fish, 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 fish. If you ain't fishing, read fishing. If you ain't reading fishing, watch fishing. And then, after that, you just try to meet people. Just try to meet people, and you never know who you meet. But one is ask questions, and two is fish. That's a big deal. Pretty simple, but it goes a long way. Past and present mentors are idols. That's another 4-hour conversation.
Well, that's what you get.
So, man, I'm gonna go fishing world here. You ready?
Mhm.
I'm gonna go fishing world. Man, the dudes like mentors, the dudes that was around here that around my house that taught me how to fish. Like, hold on a sec. What's up, buddy? Hold on, I'm coming. 1 second. So, the dudes that taught me taught me how to fish. Winston Michel was a good dude that taught me a lot. He slowed the line. I mean, he taught me a bunch. You know, what should have took me 5-8 years to learn. He gave it to me in like a 3-year period. Just a lot of information. Timmy Tomplin, friend of the family that always fished a whole bunch. He fished a bunch with him. He helped me a bunch. Kevin Medine, Sandy Godin. God, I'm forget some names. That's a hard one to answer because you always leave somebody out. But there was a group of dudes that Scott Buxton was in there when I was starting to fish tournaments, BFLs and stuff. Jason Pittman is a friend of mine that I met after high school that really helped me out. And then God, that list goes on and on and on. I could tell stories forever about them dudes really helped me out. But the cool thing about them dudes is like they really tried to help me learn how to fish and like share the information with me. And like as like watching as a fan, and I was a big Hackney fan, I was a big
Yeah.
Rojas fan, I was a Bravo fan, I was a Biffle fan. Harrow Allen, I met Harrow Allen as a young kid, so I always liked Harrow. Um, Mark Davis, I remember when Mark Davis won the Classic in '95. You know, he said, "I got a egg beater right in the middle of what belly I got left." I remember that. Yeah, them dudes were all my favorites. I will tell you one of my favorite things about fishing professionally, because of personality or style. All right, I'm gonna get to that for real quick. One of the things that I enjoy about fishing professionally, and one of the things that I really uh, enjoy and I try to do is like all the dudes that I just named that I watched growing up. You know, I'm friends with them now, so I
Yeah.
get to ask them questions and hang out and listen to their stories. I mean, I talked to Mark one time for like 2 hours about before he won the classic and when he won the classic and after he won the classic, and then I mean the dude's Mark Davis,
Yeah.
and
I know exactly what
he
you're talking
talked to
about.
you and he'll tell you the whole story about everything. You know what I mean? So I mean I've spent hours and hours asking Dean about the whole frog bite. You know how it started, where he got it from. Uh, how was it when it took off and he started that deal. Um, you get to be around Biffle who comes off as you know tough as nails, but really
He's not.
he's really just a big clown.
Yeah.
You just gotta chip away. It's that
Yes.
he got that like an arm on him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um,
I
but
do.
man, I like them dudes. You talk about personality or style, a little bit of both. I like I like the fishermen that were grinders. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Kind of just grinders. Just not flashy. Just just fishing. You know what I mean? I remember watching a clip from with Tommy back in the day fishing on Potomac River in Mattawoman Creek, and he missed one on a buzz bait, and he used to throw a rattleback jig, and I watched him flipping, and he would hit that jig a couple of times and he'd catch it. Then I couldn't wait to go back fishing so I could swim that jig like Biff. So I think it was the style and the personality. I guess you don't realize it, but you watch the way people handle themselves and speak, and you're impressed by some of that, or you respect the way people speak and act, and it makes an impression on you. So I guess it's style and personality that is why I like those dudes. Was a fan of those dudes. The Rougarou on the chef. The Rougarou's back there. He's hiding. Is there a Rougarou in Monroe? I don't know. They kind of upstate. A lot of pine trees. I don't know. Rougarou all over the state. Oh, am I more old school or new age? Man, I'm gonna say I'm old school.
All right.
Yeah, dude. Maybe I am old school. I don't know. It depends. I'm 38 now. At one point, I thought 38 was almost in the grave. No, I think I'm probably old school. I probably need to get a little more new school in me, but I take pride in being old school too. And like the dudes I just talked about, like laid the foundation of professional fishing. Some of to a certain point, some of those dudes did. Some of them are heroes or legends of the sport, and it's got them this far. So, but with that being said, you gotta keep going and evolve and get better. So it that's the cool thing about fishing. It's never finished. Ricky Oquam, I'm assuming that's Ricky Joe. What baits do you use in cold temps? Two colors come to mind. Well, three colors. Three of them. Black and blue and red, or like orange and red. Red rattle trap. You're looking at a black and gold roll. You're looking at black and blue jig. So black and blue and crawfish colors, all kind of. It seems like at home in December when that water temperature gets 60 or below, all the way through like April when that water temperature starts rising again, and it kind of goes to a shy deal. That seems when the crawfish and the reds and the oranges come to play. What do you do to keep mentally focused when the bites are slow? That I'm still looking for the answer for, because that is probably what hurts me more than anything. Is I'm fishing and I start thinking about who knows what am I doing football season? Because or what where was that last bite, or what's for supper? Like I don't do a good job of that, and I need to do a better job of it. But what I do try to do to try to stay on point is I try to make like a checklist, like find a good cast, make the good cast, good rod position, good rod position, good body position, and then as I'm making I'm focusing on the bait, and then I try to as that cast gets closer to the end, I'm like, all right, finish this cast, and until that bait is back on my rod. Because what happens is, and this kills me. I've done this all hundreds of times. It makes me just not a good job. But like you be fishing, it's slow, and this cast should have about 5 seconds left. But you take your mind off of that cast that's right there, and you're reading that bait in, and your mind goes from here and it goes to that next cast. And that's when that bite comes in the last 3 seconds of the cast. But you almost finish that cast is the biggest deal that I preach to myself, that I'm talking to myself as I'm fishing. Finish this cast, and then you can pick up and make the next cast. When I get ahead of myself, and we just talking about like a 5-second deal here, 3-second deal. When you take your mind off of that cast to the next one, that's when mistakes happen. When you decide between willow or Colorado blades on a spinnerbait, that's a good question. So generally, and that's a 2-hour conversation. That's what I like about fishing. This conversation never stops. Generally, if I can see the blades, I'm going with a willow blade. And that may be, like a foot or so. A foot of visibility. So I'm going willow blades, kind of a faster retrieve. If it gets to the point to where I can't see my blades, then I'm going with a Colorado blade. And I'm talking about, I'm talking shallow water fishing, throwing at targets. You're talking about 8, 10, 12 inches of visibility with a willow leaf, and then anything I can't see there, I'm going Colorado blades. But I tell you the truth, I don't know if that's really a bad answer. There's not a wrong answer. I think sometimes it's a speed deal more than it is a vibration deal. So if you can get that willow blade, lets you get that spinnerbait back faster. Maybe getting a reaction bite, and that Colorado blade's a little harder to burn back. So, I guess you already know the right answer, man. That's the fishing deal about it. I would tell you this quick spinnerbait tip. No matter the blade, what I always try to do is touch something on that spinnerbait, man. Try to touch something on that spinnerbait, and because when it does, that bait rolls or hops or whatever around that tree. Whenever you hit something, it makes it change, and that a lot of time that triggers a bite. I'm a real big believer in stop and go retrieves or yo-yoing, and when you hit a piece of cover with a spinnerbait, it kind of deflects it or rolls it. It changes that routine of coming straight back, and that'll get you a couple extra bites.
It's about time to say goodbye. Let's get his final thoughts.
Let's say goodbye. Final thoughts. Well, I will tell you this. This has definitely been one of the most interesting interviews I've ever taken part in. I've never done an interview like this. My Wi-Fi is maxed out. I don't know what's the deal, but I do want to thank everybody for watching, and thank y'all for having me on. Man, it's just hurry up and wait, ready to go next year, and looking forward to getting on the water. I will leave you with this. Of course, happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that. But what I do want to say is thank you to the fans who buy our stuff and give us a job and follow us. Because if it wasn't for them, I'd probably still be writing speeding tickets right now. So no matter what, thank you for the fans. Thank you to the fans for following us. And I would encourage everybody to follow me on social media, and feel free to reach out and talk fishing. If I don't respond right away, just stick with me. I will respond. But yeah, thank you for the fans, bro. That's a if it wouldn't be for them, we'd be doing something else. So great job. Thank you. Thanks for having me. We'll try again next time with a better connection, or however we fix this thing. We'll try again. Thanks for having me.
We'll get it. We'll get it. Good job, bud. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us. Sorry for the technical difficulties. It could have been just a little Wi-Fi on his part, but make sure that you guys turn in next time to Bass 365 Livecast. I'm Lurch. I'm your host tonight, and hopefully I'll be your host again. Until next time, we'll see you.